Hey guys, I'm back to another video. Today we will be taking a look at Chibi Robo's next adventure, Chibi Robo Zip Lash, released on the Nintendo 3DS. The first time I saw Chibi Robo Zip Lash was at E3 2015. Nintendo put a lot of attention to this game, especially during their Treehouse live streams. This is where I was really interested with the game, and Nintendo earlier this year invited me to their offices in New York City. I was quite surprised, honestly, but if you want to know all the games I got to play there, you could go and check out this video right here. I only played Chibi Robo for a short period of time, but from what I've played, I really enjoyed myself. That small experience influenced me to purchase the game at launch with the amiibo, of course, because I need more amiibo. Now, this game has been slammed across the board from what I've seen. Many video game websites scoring this game really low. Now, is this game as bad as they score it? I guess we'll find out later in this video. The story for Chibi Robo Zip Lash is nothing amazing. There are these scary but cute aliens stealing natural resources from Earth, and it's up to Chibi Robo to stop them. And that's about it. The story does not develop much from here, and I'm not surprised. I mean, this is a Nintendo game we're talking about. Nintendo is not known for their story-driven games. It's all about the gameplay for them. So how is the gameplay? The way you control Chibi Robo is with the circle pad. At first, I did not like this idea, especially since this is a 2D platformer, and there was no option to go and use the D-pad to go and control Chibi Robo left and right. I would have loved to play this game with the D-pad, but I did eventually get over it. You jump with the A button and use your Whiplash and Ziplash with the X and Y buttons respectively. You can do a roll by hitting the R button, which will move you a little bit faster. The B button does not do anything within the game, which I found to be really strange. They could have mapped the B button as like a run button or something like that instead of me rolling everywhere. The B button does get you out of menus and other stuff, but I want the B button to do things within the game like I said earlier. The amount of worlds is 6, and there are 6 levels within. Each world is based on a location in the real world on Earth, like North America or Europe. Each world has its own boss fight, and the boss fights are kind of disappointing. They aren't difficult, and they all have 2 phases, normally when they're about half HP. The patterns for these boss fights are also really predictable as well. The final boss is actually the easiest out of the bunch and is really disappointing. Underwhelming, I would say. In the beginning of the game, they give you all of the upgrades for your Whiplash and Ziplash. They could have implemented more upgrades, I think, later in the game, like an upgrade for the Whiplash to go and grab enemies and throw them back. Something like that would have been nice to have, but unfortunately, they only give you upgrades within the beginning of the game. You can hover for a short distance by holding the X button. It's good when platforming across gaps. When aiming your Ziplash, there is a marker to go and let you know whether or not you'll hit your target. Also, whenever trying to find a spot to go and aim your Ziplash, most of the time there is a little marker on the floor to go and let you know where you have to stand, along with a marker on the wall on where you have to aim it. It's a bit too hands-on in my opinion. I'm fine with this kind of stuff within World 1, but it's all over this game. Throughout each level, you'll be able to go and find various collectibles like snacks, big coins, and chibi tots. If you collect them all within a certain level, you will be rewarded with a badge for each. Other badges that you can obtain is like not using an item, not using a checkpoint, and not getting hit. The item badge you'll get within all of the levels. The reason I say this is because the items within this game are kind of useless. You can only obtain items through the vendor shop. The items you get are a extra battery and a jetpack just in case you fall. I would only use these items if I was going for the other badges, you know, the ones that say that not using a checkpoint and not getting hit for like 100% completion. The vendor shop is kind of useless in that aspect, and I wish that the vendor shop would have been used for, you know, like I said, upgrades for Chibi Robo or something like that. The snacks you use to go and feed other toys that you'll meet along your adventure. You'll find the toys through these spooky portals. Once you enter, the toy will introduce themselves and tell you the snack that they desire. Most of the time you'll only have the first snack that they say and not the others. They only ask you for 3 snacks though. This part of the game is only for completionists, I think. I'm not exactly sure what else this thing does. Other things to look out for within each level are like coins, trash, and these red and blue orbs. The coins will let you buy items from the shop and advance within the game a little bit easier. I'll get to that in a minute. The trash you pick up within each world varies, but it's still trash. With this trash, you'll be able to transfer it into watts, which is what Chibi Robo runs on. On the bottom left of your top screen, there is a health bar that deplenishes as time goes on. So it's sort of like a time limit, but also your health bar. At the end of each level, you'll return to your ship, which is also your home, and recharge to 999 watts. If you need a recharge within the middle of the level, you'll need to go and find an outlet somewhere within the level, and you'll be able to go and recharge there. Always recharge, no matter how little it may be. If you do somehow lose track of your health bar like I did within one level, you will get a game over and have to start the level all over again. I guess that's what the extra battery comes in handy, but I did not even bother with it at that point. The red orbs will increase your whiplash and ziplash length, and the blue orbs will increase only the length of your ziplash, but these increases in length will only last for that level. If they let you to go and keep the length of your whiplash and ziplash from these red and blue orbs, I guess you'd be a little bit too strong for the later levels. Now for the coins. Now what did I mean by advance within the game a little easier? Well, before finishing each level, you'll have to do this little mini game involving 3 alien saucers. You're going to have to aim your ziplash in the correct spot to get the gold, silver, or bronze saucer. There is also an imaginary timer, so if you take too long, the gold and silver saucers will eventually disappear. My strategy is to always go for the silver saucer if the gold one is too hard to reach. After finishing this minigame, you'll have a certain amount of chances to spin the spinner to advance. The gold saucer gives you 3 chances, the silver gives you 2, and the bronze gives you 1. There are various numbers on the spinner, and the number you get is the amount of times your ship will move. So let's just say you're on the first level, and you get a 2 on the spinner. You will skip level 2 and go to level 3. I have a problem with this because you're pretty much forced to skip a level that you probably did not want to skip. And just because you skipped it doesn't mean you don't have to complete it. Before facing the world boss, you're gonna have to finish all 6 levels. This is where the coins come in. For the price of 120 coins, you'll be able to buy a different number for the spinner. The numbers go up to 6, which I never really used 5 or 6. The highest I ever went was 4. Since I always want to go in order of the levels, I make sure that the spinner has more 1s than the others. I hate this part of the game because it's all up to chance whether or not I go to the next level or I skip the level and have to come back to it later. Why couldn't the saucers just increase your highest score and then just remove the spinners altogether? I would have been fine for the ship to pick me up, take me to the little hub station to do whatever I gotta do, and then take me to the next level. I never want to do level 3 before level 2. And I don't want to do a level all over again because the spinner told me to do so. This spinner really messed up my experience for this game, and removing it would have fixed this whole problem. The spinner slows the progression of the game down since you spin one of these damn things at the end of each level. The worst part is, after finishing the world boss, you're able to freely travel to any past level. Why couldn't you just let me do this in the first place? I'm not sure whose idea was this, but this was a terrible idea. The hub station is where you deposit your trash for watts, try out amiibos, or use the computer to get information on in-game stuff, or move on to the next level. I'm not able to try out any of the amiibo functionality since I don't own a new 3DS or the NFC adapter. But from what I've heard, other amiibos can be used for this game. So if you have the Link amiibo, you'll be able to go and see Chibi Robo pose within like a Link style or something like that. The Chibi Robo amiibo itself turns Chibi Robo into Super Chibi Robo. Super Chibi Robo just has a larger health bar. That's literally it from what I've seen. There are also levels that aren't platforming to, I guess, change it up a bit. But when I do play these levels, I just want to get them done and over with quickly because they are not fun. The balloon levels are just frustrating to control, and the other ones like the skateboarding and the water skiing are okay at best. These levels just get in the way of the main adventure. There are these fire and ice powers that can be used within certain levels. The fire ability will allow you to melt platforms, and the ice ability will allow you to run through fire hazards. These powers are actually really cool, and I wish that they utilized them a lot more. They could have been another item within the vendor shop to buy for certain occasions. For example, there could be a collectible behind an ice wall. You're going to need to go and buy the fire power up to go and get in there and get the collectible. One last thing about the gameplay. There are also these weird baby aliens that you can find within each level randomly. I don't know what these things do, and I don't know what their purpose is, but they're in the game. Overall, the gameplay for Chibi Robo Ziplash just leaves much to be desired. Many elements of this game could have been used more, but sadly weren't. The gameplay is decently fun. I did sort of enjoy myself playing each platforming level. The presentation for this game is actually done decently well. The graphics look really nice, the music is enjoyable, and all of the characters are animated nicely. The only downside in terms of the presentation is the frame rate dropping when a lot is happening on screen. So what is my final verdict on Chibi Robo Ziplash? This game is just underwhelming. There are just so many factors in this game that were not utilized enough. On top of that, that stupid spinner just annoyed the hell out of me. I would not recommend this game. This game is not exactly all that great. You're not missing out much by passing it up. It's just another mediocre platformer, unfortunately. I did have some fun with it since I am a huge platformer fan, but just looking at the game as a whole, it just did not leave a lasting impact, and it just left a lot left to be desired. If you guys still plan on picking this game up, my recommended price is like $10, you know. The game did not sell well in Japan, so hopefully the price of this game over here in the US will drop within the next year. You know, this is Nintendo we're talking about, so, you know, prices of their games will drop very slowly, but, you know, it'll eventually get there. But yeah, don't spend more than $10 because this game is just not exactly all that great. So that is all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making it, despite the game being, you know, all meh, you know. So if you guys want to go and subscribe, I put new videos up every Saturday. If you guys also want to check out my Facebook and Twitter, I put updates on my future videos, and I also talk about video game stuff. So if you guys want to talk to me about something, I will be more than welcome to talk to you on there. If you guys also want to go and check out my other video game reviews, that will be in the description below, along with my Facebook and Twitter. So, yeah, I'm tripping on my words. If you guys, yeah, that's about it, I think. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time with more videos. Game on, gamers!